Hi everyone, welcome back. It's Wednesday, May 13th, 2020. I hope that you enjoyed reading about the Little Red Hen and that you completed your assignment. Let's go back to that assignment from Monday and let's see what we filled in here. So remember, we are working on determining the theme of a text. And remember, let's do a quick review. The theme is the central message or the lesson that is learned. A lesson that a character or characters learn in a story. And we also think about what the author wants us to learn from the story that we would be able to use in our own lives. We determined on Monday, after reading The Little Red Hen, the lesson that the characters learned and the lesson the author will want us to learn that we could use in our own lives is that to always be willing to help others. And so then we filled in one together evidence from the text that help us determine that the lesson learned in the story is to help others, to always be willing to help others. One piece of evidence that we found in the book is that the dog, the cow, and the cat and the pig, they kept saying "not I" every time the hen asked for help, right? So let's go, and then you were going to fill in the other two boxes, and yours could be different than what I said, but I'm going to share with you what I came up with. So I also found in the text that the hen, let's start with this one actually, the hen kept asking for help. You know, the dog and the pig, cow and the pig kept saying no, but the hen kept on asking for help. Remember, she asked for help to plant the seeds. She asked for help for pulling the wheat when it was ready to pull. She also asked for help to take the wheat to the mill. And she also asked help can't get my words out today. She also asked help to help her bake the bread. So she kept asking for help and they kept saying no, didn't they? And then I also found the evidence at the end of the story that the hen did not share the bread because they did not help with her at all. All the times that she was asking for help, they always said no. So these are the other two that I came up with. The hen didn't share the bread and the hen kept asking for help. Today, guys, we're going to continue with determining the theme of a text. And the book I'm going to read to you today that I'm sure many of you are familiar with is The Three Little Pigs. So as we are reading the book, I want you to think about what should the characters be learning in this story? What's the lesson learned? What does the author want us to learn from the story? That we could use in our life. So let's get started by reading The Three Little Pigs. Three Little Pigs by M.J. York, illustrated by Laura Ferrero Close. Once upon a time, an old mother pig and her happy family fell into misfortune, and so she sent her three little pigs out into the world to make their own way. The first little pig went out into the world. He soon settled down and built himself a little house of straw, but before long a big bad wolf came along and saw the little house of straw. He looked in the window and saw the first little pig inside. The big bad wolf knocked on the door and called, say it with me, little pig, let me in. The first little pig cried, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in, growled the big bad wolf, and he huffed, and he puffed, and he blew the house down. The big bad wolf found the first little pig, and he gobbled him up. The second little pig went out into the world. He soon settled down and built himself a little house of sticks. Before long, the big bad wolf came along and saw the little house of sticks. He looked in the window and saw the second little pig inside. The big bad wolf knocked on the door and called, little pig, let me in. The second little pig cried, say it with me, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in, growled the big bad wolf, and he huffed, and he puffed, and he blew the house down. He found the second little pig, and he gobbled him up. The third little pig went out into the world. He soon settled down and built himself a little house of bricks. Before long, the big bad wolf came along and saw the little house of bricks. And he saw the little house. I'm just reading it again. Before long, the big bad wolf came along and he saw the little house of bricks. He looked in the window and saw the third little pig inside. The big bad wolf knocked on the door and called, little pig, let me in." The third little pig cried, "Not by the hair of my chinny chin." Then I'll say it with me. Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in, growled the big bad wolf. And he huffed and he puffed and he huffed and he puffed again, but he could not blow down the house of bricks. I wonder why. Why do you think he couldn't blow it down? Let's go back and look to see what the other pigs built their house out of. The second pig built their house out of sticks, and the one before that built their house out of straw, right? Why couldn't he blow the house down out of bricks? Right? Bricks are really, really strong and sturdy, right? Let's keep reading, find out what happens. The big bad wolf knew he would have to be clever to catch the third little pig. "Little pig," he called, "I know where to pick the sweetest turnips. Come out and I'll show you." "No, thank you," said the big pig politely. He knew the wolf was trying to trick him. "I don't like turnips," and the big bad wolf went away. The next day the big bad wolf came back. "Little pig," he called, "I'm going to the fair. Will you come with me?" "No, thank you," said the pig. "I have no money for the fair." And the big bad wolf went away again. Not working, right? He's not going to trick the pig. Let's keep reading and find out what happens next. The next day, the big bad wolf came back once more. "Little pig," he called, "the best apples grow in Farmer Brown's garden. Come out and I'll show you where they are." The pig knew the big bad wolf would never leave him alone. He had a plan. "I'll meet you tomorrow at 5 o'clock," he replied. I wonder what kind of plan Little Pig could have, because I think he knows the wolf is trying to trick him, isn't he? Let's keep reading and find out. The next day the pig ran out of his house at 4 o'clock. He ran to Farmer Brown's garden. He picked a big basket of apples and ran home again. He put a big pot on the fire to heat water for his tea. The big bad wolf came back at 5 o'clock. "Little pig," he called, "are you ready to go to Farmer Brown's garden?" "I've already been and come home again," said the pig. So the pig went an hour earlier. He went at 4 o'clock instead of 5 o'clock. That's a smart pig, huh? At this, the wolf grew angry. He had tried to trick the pig 3 times, and it had not worked. He wanted to eat the pig now. A pop-out word, right? So the reader wants us to read that out loud in a loud voice. Now! He got a running start and leaped high into the air. He landed on the roof with a loud, read it with me, thump. He jumped down the chimney and, splash, landed in the big pot of boiling hot water. That was the end of the wolf, and the little pig lived happily ever after in his little brick house. So, this might be a little bit different story than maybe what you've read or has been read to you, but we know that the 3 pigs went out into the real world and they had to build their own, they had to find their own way, and so they had to be responsible and take care of themselves. And so the first thing they had to do was build a home so that they could live in and be protected from the outside, right? From predators. In this particular story, who is the predator? The wolf, right? So the first pig, he settled down really soon. He built a house out of straw, got it done. But did that work? It didn't, did it? It wasn't strong enough. So the second pig, he went out in the world and he settled down and he did it really soon. And he built a house of sticks really quick, got it up. Then what happened? The wolf was able to blow it down, wasn't he? Then we have here the third wolf, right? And he went out in the world and he soon set and built himself a house of bricks. So he probably took a little bit more time, and it was probably harder because the bricks are heavier and he had to carry them. Then he had to do a lot more work probably to build a house of brick. But he took some time to do this, right? So what happened? Did that work out for him? He took a little bit more time. He probably thought about it a little bit more. What would be the best to protect my house? Because the first pig thought straw. Do you think the first little pig thought it through about how a house of straw might work for a home? What about the second pig who built the house out of sticks? Do you think he thought about it very long and hard? But the third pig, I think he thought a little bit more about what would be a good material to build a home that will really protect him. So maybe the third pig thought about it a little bit more than the other two pigs. Maybe. So now with that said, with what we've talked about and what we've read, you guys are going to go back to a sheet that you're going to have. It's going to be a new sheet just like this. And your job, we practiced yesterday or Monday with the little red hen. Your job now is to show me what you think and what you know about what you think what the theme of the Three Little Pigs is. So right here, when you click here, in complete sentences, remember we're not just writing words, we're in a complete thought, complete sentence. Tell me what you think the characters may have learned, or what do you think the author wants us to learn from this story? Remember, the pigs built homes and they all built them out of different materials. So what might we learn from this story? So once you figure out what you think, what's something that we could learn from it, that we could use in our own lives, you're going to write it right here where it says central message. You're going to type it up. And then here, guys, in evidence, just like we did back in the little red hen, what information from the book helped you figure out what the theme, what the central message, or we could say what the lesson, what evidence from the book helped you decide what the lesson learned? Whatever you put here, how did you figure that out? What from the book? Right here. There's 3 boxes. See if you can give me 3 pieces of evidence from the book that help you figure out what the theme. Right here, guys, this is the theme where it's a central message. You see where it says the central message or the lesson learned. Okay, so your first job is to figure out what is the lesson learned from the story, The Three Little Pigs, right here. What from the book help you figure that out? That's what goes in these 3 boxes here. Can't wait to see what you guys figured out for the theme in this story. And again, if you have any questions about this assignment, please feel free to reach out to me, ask me. I'll be more than willing to help you out. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Goodbye.